I'm Justin.
I'm Johnny.
And we'll do the pump. Let's do it one more time.
Exactly. Welcome to Henshin Hangout. Henshin Hangout. Boom.
I got spitting there that time, actually.
Good job. Nice.
That's pretty good right now.
It just takes pride. You made it showy.
I made it showy.
You made it showy.
I made it showy. Okay, once again, let's a quick recap. If you didn't, if you weren't over on Ranger Wrap Up, if you're just joining us here just for us, first off, again, thank you. Once again, we'll be talking about the newest episode of Lupin vs Patranger.
Yep.
We will also, at some point in this episode, briefly talk about, because the's no new Kamen Rider this week, no new Kamen Rider build, but we will be talking a little bit about the trailer for the next Kamen Rider show. Hold on that. Wait till we get to that part, but we will be talking about it. Plenty to unpack on that. And what do we got? This stuff here.
I think we're going to be talking about a little Gokaiger. So, as you know, because we don't have an episode of Build this week, because we're getting ready for that finale, where, sadly enough, Jezzer may be eating some of the hottest hot wings. And so, because we don't have that episode, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite moments and our top 5 highlights from Gokaiger, one of the best Sentai series ever.
Absolutely. But we'll hold off on that. We will very briefly, we'll discuss that in a little bit later. But right now, let's go ahead and discuss the newest episode
of Lupat.
Again, and as I won't point something out again. Me and Johnny do not agree on Lupat.
No, not at all. We did at the beginning.
Yeah.
At the beginning, there was hope.
Yeah.
At the beginning, there's possibility.
At the beginning, but then I realized there was a divide, and the divide, which is appropriate for a show about two battling Sentai teams.
This is true.
But let's discuss this episode, which is basically an undercover episode.
Yeah.
Lupin X and Umika are in an underground auction.
Yeah,
for a Lupin collection piece.
So it was an interesting setup because the whole thing is they had to go to this like black market underworld.
Yeah.
They had to bid on this collection item to get it, and the whole reason why they're going through like these challenges with us because it's actually not in control of the ganglers, so they need to go ahead and secure this like collection piece.
Yeah.
And instead of having like to steal it or fight their way for it, which we thought they would do,
right?
Because they're a group of thieves, you think they would steal it, but no, they call in the butler and they're like, yo, bring us up that checkbook. So Noel decides to go and just like purchase the piece.
That was I guess the plan in this episode was Noel's like, hear me out. I just want to make this easy. I know where it's at. I know Kogray has an unlimited bank account. Why don't we just make this easy on us and just walk in and buy it and leave? Which I kind of understand that sentiment. They're struggling for most of the show, so in this case, it's like let's just do this one easy. So. Sure, why not? And then Umika was brought in on this.
See, that was the weird part for me. Sorry to interrupt, my apologies.
Sure.
But see, that was kind of one of the weird things for me. Like, again, it wasn't a big thing, but I was like, okay, you are a group of thieves.
Yeah.
What you do is literally steal for a living.
Sure.
In the first episode, you literally came in and stole a collection piece.
Yeah.
Why would you not just steal it here? Because again, like, if it was like, for example, let's say it was in a legit auction, I would be like, that's an auction house.
Right.
This is tied to people's jobs.
Right.
This is a whole setup right here. It's an infrastructure, if you will. Okay, I understand why you wouldn't steal it from that. But this is an underground black market auction. Yeah. It's like mob bosses and thieves and everything like that. You Lupin Rangers, why not just steal it?
I guess the reason here is to just change it up a little bit. And I almost feel like Noel is showing this is how we can try it this way. Right. Let's do it this way for a change.
Exactly. We can try it this way.
Yeah, no, and
fail.
Yeah, it does fail. It doesn't work for them very well. Side note, it is weird how like when I see a room of people wearing masks, it just makes me uncomfortable. Don't know what it is. Just
a little off-putting.
Little off-putting. Now, Noel brings Umika in because he quotes, I just, like, it's less suspicious if I just do this alone. And I guess that just simply means it makes more sense if I have a rich wife or some sort of girlfriend.
If I have a girl on my side type deal to kind of, like, take pinching off me and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that does make sense.
It does make sense.
What did you think of the auction scene?
It's fine. It's kind of a little comedic. I think what I thought was super funny, and it works only in the fact that like it's a show that's set in Japan. So when Umika starts hearing the pricing, she's like, oh, it's like 400,000. She's like, oh, that's not so bad.
Exactly.
She's converting it to yen in her brain, and then Noel's like, oh no, that's
American dollars.
It's American dollars. She's like, what's that would mean? And so she's freaking out over the off of the price change over the actual price for her, and she's a pretty, from what I can tell in the show, she's a pretty like standard like middle class Japanese person. So the idea of throwing this amount of money is giving her a heart attack.
Yeah. Which I would say I did like this part of that episode. I found that part comedic. Yeah. Anytime she found how much they were spending, it was like she just started like freaking out. Yeah. Which I was like too. I was like, this is crazy. No, you should steal it. You should just steal it. But I will say this though, like when I was watching that like auction scene, again, as someone who's like watched film and movies before, I'm sure you've seen the same thing. Sure. Sometimes auction scenes can be like one of the most exciting parts of like a caper in a way, where like there's bidding going back and forth. You're not sure who's going to win, and then you just get to the point where you're just like $1 million, and it's like, oh. So I will be honest though, that part was comedic, but when they got to actual bidding, maybe this is one of those cultural differences or whatnot. But I wish that had been directed a little bit differently. We kind of saw the tension build and who was like bidding and everything like that. I had a little more fun with it.
I can see
because that's usually the fun thing about auctions too, is that when we walked in, we had that cast of characters of like different, like we had like the old school like samurai boss who was in the old school like kimono and everything like that. We had the new guy in the suit, the obvious like American there. So I wish they would just have done like a little bit differently.
That's good. Okay. I actually do agree with you on that, because the scene's okay as is when the actual bidding comes into play, but it is kind of, they're more focused on Umika's reactions to how much money is being spent than the tension of who's going to win the bid. Because normally you're right. Like, the tension would be like, oh, is it that shady looking guy who's going to get it? We don't want that guy to get it.
Exactly.
Instead, here it's a very easy bid. Exactly. And Noel gets it, and yay, they got it. I'm super with you on that, actually. It just doesn't really...
And then, here's the thing, everybody. You know I love Sentai. Like, I love Sentai. You know I love Kamen Rider. But I'm going to be honest. Like, when something could have been done better, I'm going to critique it and ask questions. No, and I'm happy Justin enjoys it, so that way you can hopefully answer some of these questions. Yeah. So here's my other thing. You can just give me your opinion on this. After they win the auction, the lights go out, the Gangler appears or whatever, and it steals the piece and everything like that. Yeah. And so after this happens, they chase after him, they battle and everything like that. Yeah. I got to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed by that, because I kind of wish that the lights had gone out, the piece had gotten stolen, and then it had become a whodunit situation. Yeah. Like a Clue type deal. It was like, we need to figure out like who stole the piece, and they're investigating, and they're asking questions and things along those lines. That also kind of disappointed me, because I thought, oh, this is where we're going with this. And then it was like, okay, a change up, which is like, okay, maybe it'll be better. Yeah. But it wasn't. Here's the thing, as someone who is still a big fan of the show, I will totally admit to this. This is a kind of a so-so app for me as well. Yeah. That's it. Speaking to the sword, please. Say it one more time. It's a so-so episode. Really? I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but I certainly felt it was fine. As I watched it, I even watched it again this morning to get a refresher, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, nothing about it really stuck out with me. Nothing about it really offended me. But at the same time, I'm like, I was offended. I was hurt. I felt slapped in the face. Dare I say it? Was it a hate crime? I'm not sure yet. My goodness. But I'll say, no, it wasn't that. But here's the all right, but like, because here's another thing. So after that, they steal the item and whatnot, and then afterwards they go and Noel has to pay for the item and everything like that, and that was a little bit funny. He had to write that $2 million check, and then they go back and they say, okay, well, now we're going to figure out who stole this. Yeah. So he goes to Umika and he's like, okay, I need you to draw me pictures of these people. We're going to work together and draw these pictures, and we're going to make this art and everything like that. And then they go to the police headquarters and they scan the pictures, right? Yeah. And then afterwards, Noel goes to the auctioneer and was like, I don't want you to put on another auction. I'm going to pay you to put on another auction. Invite everybody back so we can figure out who the Gangler is. Right. Which I was like, okay, why did they draw the pictures? Because the answer is it's not good. It's not a good episode of that reason. No, here's the thing. No. And like, I will say, and I'm not here to defend the choices in this episode. I was hoping you would be. No, because because I can't. And part of me is like, because I'm not that excited about it. It's a lot of it is, as I was rewatching it this morning, a lot of it is like, oh, these are kind of nice ideas or kind of cute bits. Yeah. Like the bit where Umika is like kind of squeezing each. Oh, we failed to mention that the Gangler this episode is a squirrel. Which was, honestly, the Gangler was the best part. Because he's like, I love counting money. Like my nuts. And I was like, this is hilarious. You want to know why? This is hilarious. You want to know why I love this monster? It's like this dedication to theme. Yes. Dedication to theme. Yes. He's a squirrel, henceforth, I'm going to say nothing but nut puns. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Honestly, I wish we had got like a 3-part arc with him where it was just nothing but nut jokes for like 3 episodes. I was like, this is is low-key hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why, but I'm loving this Squirrel Gangler so much right now.
Oh my gosh, like, oh, this is smoother than peanut butter.
Which is made out of nuts. Which is like,
you're going nuts.
I was just like, this is amazing. It's so amazing.
I also want to point out oh my gosh, yeah, when the moment where he kind of blows cheeks. Like right here as we see right now. Oh dear goodness, I don't know how to handle myself, but it was super funny. So hey, the nut themed Squirrel Gangler, not bad.
That was funny.
That's all right.
But you know, to go back to your original point though, that's kind of how I felt about this in like entire season, where he was like, it's a so-so thing, and it's kind of like you're looking at the writers to figure out like how did this all come together and things like they kind of dropped the ball, and that's what kind of I feel like they're doing with the season, because I mean skip ahead a little bit. As we go towards the end of the episode, we see so the Lupin Rangers show up, they do like their final attack and destroy the squirrel monster. They steal the item and whatnot, and then afterwards they go into their Zords and they defeat the Gangler and everything like that. But sadly enough, the Potter Rangers were an afterthought again, which was a big disappointment. And even that they talked about it's like I feel we're just cleaning up somebody's messes when they do arrest everybody from the black market auction. And that's just the thing. It just feels like very unbalanced.
It was again, you and me just don't see eye to eye about how the Pat Rangers are using this in this show. I really like them. This episode is okay. And the only thing I can hope for with the Pat Rangers, because there's this bit where Keiichiro's, they're pointing at the Pat like, gosh, I'm kind of getting annoyed that Noel gets away with this stuff. Yeah. And I did like the Keiichiro's like, especially the idea that we're cleaning up his mess. Yeah. So here's my thing with Noel. My thing with Noel is I feel like I'm not seeing the real him yet. You know what I mean? He's all showboat right now. This whole episode has him flipping like 8,000 times. And I feel like I haven't seen him yet. Like, what's his real deal? And I hope when we get that episode, when I see that episode, I'll really understand him and really connect with him. Because right now, he's too confident. Yeah. And it's boring me. I will admit to that.
Honestly, I will admit, seriously, when Lupin versus Potter started off at the very beginning, and we had some balanced episodes going back and forth, probably the first, I would say maybe around the first 10 episodes, somewhere around there, I was cool with the series. But then it kind of got kind of repetitive for me. And then recently, when Noel showed up, I was happy because it did bring some new life to it and everything like that. And I totally see what you're saying about him being overconfident, cocky and everything like that. And what I'm hoping is, I'm really hoping, because he was working so hard to earn their trust, I'm hoping that again he's pretty much somebody who's out for himself, and he's going to burn these bridges and have to actually earn all their trust back for real.
Yeah. I think that's hopefully the best route we're going to get out of this. I think because right now that's my biggest problem with the show, with Noel, and that tends to be my thing with Sixth Ranger or Extra Rangers when they show up in the Sentai, is that they're so excited to show off the new suit, the new gimmick, the new robot, and it's like they're OP for 3 to 4 episodes, and then at a certain point they can't be OP anymore. The story has to shift back to the regular characters, and they have to spread that out.
And I still wish they would explain why he needs to change forms, because again, in most of this episode, he was in his thief form. When he dealt the final blow, he switched to his police suit, and I would just wish they would give clear definitions of different powers and abilities that are available in each form.
That's true.
Because right now it's just kind of what's the point? You're just changing color.
Well, I'm silver in one mode, and I'm gold in the other.
Dang it, Justin. If you didn't give me this cool sword, I would hit you with this cool sword.
But no, I mean, this is, like I said, this is an okay episode to me, and I'm with you on that.
And again, that's why I say there's balance, because as you know, I come from a comic background, and to give a lot of credit to Stan Lee. Stan Lee had this old saying. He was like, whenever you have a crossover, you have to make sure when you have two heroes that there's a balance to it, that each person gets their time to shine. You don't always have to have a clear winner, but you need to make sure they have their time to shine. And with this series, that seems again, this is where things get problematic for me, because Layla just pointed out here, she says, it turned into the Lupin Rangers featuring the Potter Rangers, and which is getting disappointing because we've had too many episodes like this, because we had this episode, we had the cooking episode, and we've had more episodes like this where it's getting disappointing for me, because it would be cool if it was balanced and we're getting some Potter Rangers versus the Lupin Rangers, but we don't really get that. Even when it's the Potter Rangers focus, the Lupin Rangers always play a role.
Well, I mean, there was a good period where they were doing better at it, and I feel like right now it's not hitting me that they haven't been yet, but maybe when the show's over and I'll look back on everything, I will probably start seeing that a little clearer. Right now, I'm not feeling it that bad, though I will say the problem with Noel's character is that his job is that he's more focused on having the Lupin Rangers trust him than the Pat Rangers. That there's more stories for the Lupin Rangers than the Pat Rangers in that regard. And that's the thing is like with the with Noel, it's like the Pat Rangers, they are basically said, well, you have to trust him because he's one of us. And they're like, I guess so. So I'm hoping something comes of that attitude of them going, okay, but that's sort of not cool that he gets to do all this and just freely works with them back and forth and works with us. I'm hoping we'll get something to justify that kind of treatment for Noel.
I agree. I hope something like develops some. So we got a quick question in the chat really quick. It says, hey guys, from Johnny Morero. Hey Johnny. It says, hey guys, do you think Lupin Ranger vs Patranger will become a future season of Power Rangers in the future?
It would be a tricky one to do, I will admit. And part of me is, would they be down to do the two separate teams? You have to do it that way, obviously. Yeah. There's a lot of, I don't know, it will be a tricky show to adapt over here. I feel like they could, but, because anything's possible. I still maintain, like, I was convinced that Go Busters would just never show up.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought Go Busters was never going to be becoming a thing, and we'll just like, oh, there's that show. And, well, I was proven wrong. You know, maybe Tokyo still won't have a shot here, but we'll see.
I would say I agree with you because I agree because you never know because I'm gonna say when Beast Morphers was coming out I was like, oh, I can't wait to see this in American form because it seemed really adaptable because I like the Ranger suits because it was an updated version of a Ranger suit with the leather and everything like that. I thought it was a cool next step that I figured they would definitely do at some point, and I'm happy they're doing it because especially with the robots and AIs and everything like that, I'm really looking forward to this season, especially with the morphing time. Nice, nice, represent. But you know what? I could see them doing this because what's interesting is, like, one, you've always heard me say, I don't like the Power Ranger suits, but I can see them maybe doing it and changing the Power Ranger suits because the cool thing about it is they do use the Sentai footage, but in the past, when they haven't liked the suits for a team, because remember for My Morphin Power Rangers, they skipped a couple of Sentais and just kept the original Power Ranger suits. So if they were to do that, I think that might be one possibility, and I think, honestly, again, me looking on this series, part of the reason why I'm always so critical of is because I love the premise so much, and I felt it has so much potential, and I feel like potentially there's a lot of writers and a lot of creative people who work on Power Rangers who are looking at this you know what? I feel like they left some things on the floor that we can pick up and explore even more with this team, and I feel they can do that, especially with Noel and the fact that again in different colors you could have different powers and abilities, things they could explain and have. I think there's a lot of potential for this, and again, the Lupin Ranger costumes look amazing. The premise of it, especially in their families, everything like that, works out so well. I think again it has a lot. Again, me personally, I think it have a lot of potential. Yeah,
I would be curious to see how they're gonna do it, but as of now, we'll see. You know, and what's up?
DD Cosplay said Beast Morpher suits are a double-edged sword for cosplayers. They look great, but that pleather will be hot.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah, see, that's a cosplay for the winter time. That's a cosplay for those later conventions. You don't wear Beast Morphers to San Diego, Anime Expo. No, you only say that's for Anime LA. Things are in January and February.
Heck, right now, even right now, it's so hot in Southern California that with PMC coming up next week, if you're actually going to be Red Buster or any of the Go Busters, I wish you luck. I wish you luck. That is Yosha lucky, but it's gonna be a hot one. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, that's this episode. Out of 5, what would you give this one?
I like the squirrels. The squirrels are hilarious.
There's a pull quote. I like the squirrels.
The squirrel was amazing. Squirrel just kept carrying the show. I like Mumika.
Yeah.
I like Mumika. I love that whole joke with the yin and everything like that. I like the ending where she that joke she cracked was kind of cool for me. Man, but honestly, again, it's just for me, I don't see the balance there. I feel like the Power Rangers are being underutilized. The plot and how this episode played out didn't make sense. A lot of players, there were a lot of plot holes and things that didn't make sense. It felt like a lot of lazy writing. I'm going to give this a 1.5. I didn't want to do it. Honestly, I was thinking today, and literally after I watched the episode, I was like, I've never gone below a 3 before. Yeah. Sometimes I hit a 2.5. I was like, find something to give this a 2 for. Find something to give, oh God, it's getting lower. Okay, 1.5, we'll stop there.
That's rough. That's rough. I feel like I'm okay with the Pat Rangers being featured in this episode, mostly because they've done that before. They've had a Pat Ranger episode led with Lupin's barely show up. That doesn't bother me. I just feel like a lot of the holes you brought up, honestly, it doesn't really bring up a storyline that was very exciting. There's something kind of cool about the idea of Umika and Noel drawing all those faces for identification. But it kind of like, even I'm sitting there going like, but clearly the Gangler's the auctioneer, right?
Exactly. Or clearly, if you're just going to hold another auction and pull people's faces, you didn't need to draw these pictures anyway.
Yeah, it felt under, you know what it is? It felt like a draft, like draft 2. And we were draft 1, honestly, and like they just felt that they had a rush an episode to get out there, and no one did another draft to kind of tighten it or enhance it. It just felt like we had to get an episode out.
And to be honest, like for me too, like I've said this before. Again, I was very spoiled. I was very spoiled and very lucky. My very first like Sentai series that I watched all the way through was Gokaiger. And again, that's like the anniversary like season, everything like that. So there's very high expectation for it. And then after that, like I was watching like Quizon and everything like that. So I've got to be able to see like really good seasons, have very well developed characters, balanced storylines where everyone gets a chance to shine. And so I may be holding this to too high a standard because I know sometimes this bring up like they reset writing team. So maybe the expectation was maybe this is supposed to be kind of like we did things really high last season. And now we're going to kind of low brow and then kind of go back up type deal.
And for me, it's like I have seen a lot more than you.
Yeah, you have. Yes, you have.
I have seen a lot more than you. So for me, this is standing above some shows I'm not that crazy about, or some shows I'm okay with, even if I like chunks of it. So for me, my score.
Let me ask you this though.
It's not great. I won't point out my score.
Oh, you have to say it.
2.5.
2.5? Okay, so everybody in the chat, listen what your score is. I gave it a 1.5. Jesse gave it 2.5. It was interesting. We're always within 1, so we're very close. Let me ask you this though, because again, you have seen so much more Sentai than I. Again, be honest.
Sure.
It's a safe space.
I know.
No one here will judge you.
It's a comic shop. Please.
No one here will judge you except for maybe Red Phoenix.
Fair. What do you say?
You can go, Kai. What was the worst Sentai you've ever seen?
Ninja.
Really?
Yeah.
How come?
I hated the Red Ranger.
And Ninja was the one that was based for which one here in America?
Ninja Steel.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
I hated the Red Ranger.
It was that bad?
Hated the Red Ranger. Hated the Red Ranger. Hated the Red Ranger. Hated the rest of the cast. Of the characters they wrote were underdeveloped, had no sense, make no sense for me in terms of their motivations. It felt like it was a show which they gave. Here's the thing. I'll give you a quick example. Blue Ranger in Ninja. His deal was like, I'm annoyed with Red, but we have to trust Red. What is that? What characterization is that? None of the characters. I saw the first 7 episodes, and this is the
we
first
got a super chat.
Yeah.
What's up, Red Phoenix? Thank you for the super chat.
Yes.
He says, check out Shinkenger, Johnny.
Red Phoenix, good job on that. Yes.
Which one was Shinkenger?
Shinkenger's the samurai one.
Oh, really? I heard that was really good. I heard it's really like developed to like the Japanese like culture and everything like that.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite by far. I have to go Kaitou. But it's the one I tell people. That's when I tell people like you want to try a Sentai show without like a gimmick thing. I love the gimmick in Gokaiger, but if you want to watch a Sentai show with no gimmick, just a pure show that's on its own, Shinkenger I feel is a really great first season because it's got some really cool it's got some really cool storylines, really intricate narrative, great characters, a little darkness in there to kind of balance it all out. And when you get to the end, it does a really cool thing that makes you want to revisit the whole show again.
Nice.
So I love Shinkenger. Red Phoenix, thank you for bringing that up. And also, there's the thing. That's one problem with Ninja. Ninja at the beginning felt like a lesser Shinkenger. And so I hated Ninja. Suits are great, though. I love the suits in Ninja. So, and I don't particularly like Ninja Steel. So this was a batting too this is strikeouts for me in terms of everything concerning this version of the show. Anyways,
okay,
2.5,
1.5, and I see in the chat we still people writing in. Let us know what you gave this episode on a scale of 1 to 5. Let us know what you gave it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we get to talk about one of the best Sentai series of all time.
What's up? We got a thing. What's up? What's going on? What's going on? Oh, the next episode. I apologize. We'll jump into that. What is going on here, Johnny?
Lord Jesus, why?
Sakuya. Oh, Sakuya.
Lord Jesus, why?
You're testing Johnny so much right now.
Why?
Whereas I can't wait for this episode. I have no idea what's going on.
Why?
And
why?
You let us know what you guys think. Already, I'm seeing J-Boss 2.0 for this episode. All right, not bad. Lehop, same 2.5 for You Like Noel. Fair. He's locked. He's locked.
Why? What happened? Okay, hey, we back. I got lost. Thank you, Jessica.
It's all right.
Thank you. You freed me from the curse.
Oh my goodness, good gravy.
I was scared there.
All right. Let me move on.
I mean, to be honest, like I am interested in this because Patranger Green is like my favorite Ranger.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I find him hilarious. Like he is hilariously funny.
There is a bit in this episode where he's popping the bubbles.
Yeah.
So, all right, that's fair. All right.
Okay, so now it's time for Gokaiger.
All right. Before we jump into our list, we each have 5. What got you into watching this show?
So I remember clear as day. So I heard about Power Rangers Megaforce, and I heard there's supposed to be like this big battle scene, right? Where like all the Rangers are there and everything like that. And so I was like, all right, cool. Maybe I want to check out the season coming up. And then I remember someone posted a video. It was like Power Rangers Megaforce versus like Gokaiger. And it's that same opening scene where they're like fighting in their suits or whatever.
Right.
And so I remember watching it, and I'm just like, okay, I watched the Power Megaforce, so I was like, this okay, it's whatever. Corny writing, was all right. And then they showed Gokaiger, and I was like, what? Oh my, what? Like, I still, to this day, my favorite scene is where they're tossing the swords and guns to each other, and Marvelous does the kick and everything. But then we have 2 swords, we have 2 guns. I'm just like, oh, this is so amazing. This is so amazing. They're like shooting them in chest and sword blasts. I'm just like, why is this so awesome? Why is this show so awesome? And immediately after that, I was like, it's like a live action anime.
Yeah.
This is literally a live action anime. And so then after that, I actually watched the Sentai War, the big war that happened with that one. And I was watching again. I didn't know what Gokaiger was or anything like that. I was getting into it, but I was like, this is amazing. It's all the Rangers. What's happening here? And I just kept seeing more and more clips, and I was sort of like, I have to watch this. Yeah. I have to watch this all the way through. And back then, there was like no like real source for it, except weirdly enough, there's a Facebook group where they posted all the episodes, and then I just had to go through and watch them one by one by one by one, and I was just like, this is such a great series. Like, honestly, it kind of like rekindled my love of Power Rangers in a way, because the problem with this is that with Power Rangers, like, we've always been overcritical. Well, let me say adequately critical of them. They portray like a kid's show with the cheesy writing and everything like that. So when I would try to come back, I'm like, oh, it's just written so like lowbrow and whatnot, but this was so on point. And again, with the storylines, the writing, the character development, it was such an amazing season. And again, I just gotta say, it became my favorite series after that. And after that, I watched the next series. So up to now, I would say I watched like, it's Gokaiger. Then after that, it was
Kyoruger,
the dino one. And then,
after that is Go Busters Kyoruger.
Yeah, Go Busters Kyoruger. Tokyuger. Ninja.
And Zooger. And after Zooger is... Well, we got Super Chat. My favorite...
Woo! Red Phoenix! That's why we friends. Okay, so my favorite battle was Marvelous versus Bosco.
Same.
Oh, high five! Yes, and it was... Is that on your list?
It's on my list.
It's on my list, too! Henshin Bros. This is why, fam. All right, so let's get right into it. Let's get into it. Woo! Okay. So first off, so again, this is where we watch all of them. So let's get into our list. So we can just start right there. Yeah. So one of my favorite battles again was Marvelous versus Bosco, which was amazing.
Holy crap,
dude!
Let me tell you why this is an amazing sequence of an event. I'm gonna close that.
I'm gonna put this near me now.
That's good. Yeah. What? Up to this point, Bosco has been...
Keep going, you're doing good.
Bosco has been a really fun character in the show because he's this thorn on the side that has no connection to the Zaniac. He's his own personal man with a robot monkey. And
yes! Oh my god! Oh, okay, keep going, because I gotta talk about that robot monkey.
So the thing about this whole episode, we find out this huge backstory between him and Marvelous and the Naka Ranger, and like just this huge this huge backstory between the two, and they've been at each other's throats this whole season. And you get to this like amazing two-parter that is hardcore. Like, Bosco's winning, Marvelous is losing, injured, and it's this incredible build-up to this final fight between these two characters. And holy crap, what happens in this fight is one of the most hardcore things I've ever seen.
Please tag me in. Please tag me in. Booyaka shot. So, this fight was one of the most bad A fights of all time. You're exactly right. We've seen the build up this whole time of Bosco showing up with Sally, who is one of the most amazing sidekicks ever. And I love the way he says, Sally, and I just love this. And I'm like, oh, it's so cool. And I was like, I want Sally as my partner in crime. And I love how Sally was an actual threat a lot of times. And so when we get to this awesome fight scene, and I love how Marvelous goes into it. Marvelous is like beat down, he's hurt and everything like that. And then he's about against Bosco. And again, I love Bosco's weapon, the trumpet. It was such a cool weapon. It kind of gave me like flashback into the Dragon Dagger. Again, to the flute and everything like that being used as a weapon. And so when they get into this fight scene, again, it was just like the anime where you're watching two rivals go at each other. But instead of having that thing, it was like, okay, I want to redeem you. It was like, no, you're evil and I must defeat you. It was like, this one was like old school like kung fu movies. Moments are like, you killed my master, and now you must die. And so, to this, again, I agree with you. One of my favorite scenes we see on the screen right now is when Marvelous stabs himself in the foot to get Bosco in the foot. I was like, oh my gosh. And then again, I remember watching, like, no, they won't show blood. And then it comes, oh, it's bleeding. Oh, it's bleeding. Oh, man.
Holy crap. Holy crap. That is a baller move if I've ever seen anyone do on these shows. And like his reaction, Bosco's reaction to this is hilarious too, where he's just looking going, seriously?
It's like, really? Really? Like, really? Is this what we're doing now?
No.
Is this what's hot in the streets?
It's the only way he can pin. He literally had to pin him down. He literally had to pin him down to stop this dude.
And then he gave him those hands. Oh, so good. So good.
Such a great fight. One of the best fights in the show by far, if not the best.
It was amazing. So awesome.
No, and it's not just that it was like this really amazingly choreographed, which it is, or really amazingly shot, which it was. It's this build up to these two characters that had to end like this, and it was so earned. So earned. Love this fight
so much, and I agree with you. It's so earned, it's so well paced, and the cool thing about this was that Bosco has been a threat all season. And what's dope is the fact that again he had his own Ranger keys, which he could like again animate and use against the Rangers this whole time. So sometimes they would exchange Ranger keys, and it was just so cool to see. And by doing that, you still got to make sure everyone got a chance to shine. Some Rangers we didn't see that often were under Bosco's control, but we still got to see them on a regular basis, like it's evil and good later on. And it was just again, it was so good. And Sally's hilarious.
Love Sally.
I'm sorry. I love Sally so much, and the bananas and the candy. Sally was awesome. Like if you see me at Morphicon, like I've talked about before, I want a Grease action figure, but if somebody sees a Sally, you call me now. I'm buying Sally. Sally was amazing. If I can, so me and producer Josh have a bet. If I win the bet, he has to dress up as Sally for me. And I'm gonna dress up as Bosco. So everybody, fingers crossed.
Whoa! What? How do we make sure that bet happens?
It'll come later on. Don't worry about it. But I'm gonna give details later on what happened to Power Morphicon. So if I win the bet, he's dressed up as Sally. And I'll be Bosco.
I want to contribute to that. All right, Johnny, besides this amazing fight, what else is another moment that you love in this show? Okay, so another moment is, honestly, one of my most favorite Six Rangers of all time. Daniel, can we bring up Guy, please? Okay, so Guy was like the Six Rangers, Silver Ranger is one of my most favorite Rangers ever because again he was just so awesome. He was just so well balanced. And then we had our pirates who gave me that One Piece vibe, who were like, we're in here to steal the treasure, we're out here to like get revenge on this empire for doing all these bad things to us and whatnot. But again, we knew they were heroes the whole time. But then when we get Guy's introduction, the fact that Guy was just a straight up hero, he was like, no, I'm here to protect Earth. I'm here to defeat these villains. I want to like save the universe if I can. And I love how he told me in the first episode, it's like then I'm going to take him out. And Marvel's like, really? All right then, welcome to the team. And then later on, he actually does take him out and stabs him in the chest. I'm like, oh, Guy did exactly what he said he was going to do. And again, it was just fun because the cool thing about this season was there's a lot of fan service moments, and so a lot of times Guy was that fanboy in all of us and that fangirl in all of us who got to be on Power Rangers team. And it was so cool to see that. Also, I love this morph. Gokaiger! Awesome every single time. There he is. There's your boy.
There he is. Oh, there he is. Oh, so that's my man right there. That's my man right there.
He's great.
He's so awesome.
He's great.
He's so awesome.
One of my favorite episodes, I didn't put this in one as a picture clip. I want to say one of my favorite episodes is the episode with Die Ranger, where he lost his powers, he couldn't morph, and he was talking to a Red Ranger from an older show, and he was there going, did you do this to change, to morph, or did you do this to be a hero? And it's this really awesome, like, really cool moment of, like,
Oh, we got a super chat.
Oh, what do we got?
Thank you, Red Phoenix. Thank you, Red Phoenix.
Orion had nothing
on Guy.
Nothing on Guy. 100% agree with you on that, Red Phoenix.
Yeah, good job. Thank you, Red Phoenix. And I like what Jay Boss just said too. Guy is all of us.
Guy is all.
Guy is all of us. It's like again, like it's like if we got a chance to be a Power Ranger. We'd be like Guy.
That reminded me of like that moment. I forget what panel it was. Probably Comic-Con Power Ranger panel where Yoshi Sudarso. This further hint that Yoshi was one of us is when he said, "I see myself as Guy Akari, who got lucky to be a Power Ranger."
That is dope.
And I feel like that is a really cool way of. Yeah, like that's how you feel about Guy. He's one of us who became the hero he always wanted to be. Hey, you know what? This leads into one of my favorite comedic beats in the show.
Before we go there, can I just say this was another reason, but this because of Guy was another reason it made it hard for me to enjoy Super Mega Force. Because when that Silver Ranger showed up, I was like, that's not Guy.
I don't know.
That's not Guy at all. That is not the awesomeness that I expected. So yeah,
no, I'm
go ahead.
100% with you on that. All right, this actually leads into. Oh wait, what's this?
Oh, this later, but we'll talk about that. Go ahead.
This actually leads into it's very quick. One of my favorite quick comedy beats. One of my favorite shots in the show. And it does lead with Guy. So Guy and the team travel back probably a couple years before in this one episode where they had to go back in time, and it's amazing because they actually found a way to explain their early bird scene. And what's hilarious about this is that it's this big fight with the Zord, and then Guy's taking it because he's the only one with his own robot at the sequence, and it ends. And Guy's like, I did it! Wow, guys, look at that! What are the other Gokaigers doing in this moment after he defeats them?
It was so hilarious.
Dan, do we have that? Awesome. Are we good? Nope. Okay. Nope. All right.
So to describe it to you, it was so hilarious, and a lot of you probably remember it. It was that cool scene where we have like the Blue is over there doing push-ups. Which is so awesome.
Doc is kicking a rock.
Yes.
Marvelous is bored. Luca is bored as well, and I'm like, oh, good job.
Exactly. Yay, well done.
That shot kills me. Every time.
Dude, high five. That was also one of my favorite moments. Because I remember that he's doing the battle, everything like that, and then they just cut to them was like, we don't need to be involved with this. You got this. This is more. And it just kind of showed how bad they were as a team. It was just like, we're such a high level that guess what? We know you're not a threat. We know the Sixth Ranger is going to beat you. Because guess what? If we fought you, we'd be even more bored. So can you please wrap this up so we can leave?
Luca literally says, oh, finally.
Oh, we got another super chat. Gokaiger and Gokaiger versus Super Sentai.
By far the best team up movie, in my opinion.
Oh, fist bump forever, because it so was.
It's 90 minutes of great team up stuff, and I'd never even seen Gokaiger, and I love the team up stuff with Gokaiger.
Same. Like literally, after I finished watching that, I was like, I actually really want to watch Gokaiger.
Yeah,
and it made me disappointed again how Mega Force was adapted, because I was like, why did you not just follow the storyline of Gokaiger? It was so good, it was so well written, and actually made sense. And then again, you end that season and you bring in a new team. But again, we know the politics and whatnot, and we talk about it on Ranger Wrap Up, explaining how they have to do things. But again, if they had done that, it would have been so much better, because that movie was amazing. Because again, every Ranger got time to shine. It brought the two Ranger teams closer together, and it made sense because we had these angels versus pirates, so of course they're going to be at odds. But then by the time they come together, you're like, this makes so much sense.
It also contains probably the coolest action sequence in Sentai, which is color versus color.
Yes!
Yellow
versus so good.
Yellow.
So pink versus pink.
Black and green versus black and green. Yeah. We're so excited about Gokaiger Talk. I don't know if you guys realize this. One of the best fights, one of the best movies, Sentai team up movies ever. I want to bring up, well, actually no, you bring up another bit you really like.
Okay, so for me, I'm not sure we have them. So for me, it was low-key Guy Zord.
Okay.
His Zord was amazing for me. Because here's the thing, though. I love the big pirate, Megazord, everything like that. But I love Guy Zord because I love how it had 3 different transformations. How it went from his like regular ship mode, then to the dinosaur mode, to his like battle ready mode was amazing. And all that, though, the whole time watching, I'm like, they upgraded the Dragon Zord. Y'all, they brought back the Dragon Zord. And it was just so awesome. It was so cool.
Oh my God.
And again, so for me, that was awesome. And again, I love how you got to fight it like solo and everything like that. So for me, his Zord was amazing. It's one of my favorite moments from the series because again, it brought back that nostalgia for Power Rangers for me, which I feel like the writers of that season, they thought about that. They were like, look, we're going to hit all the Sentai moments, but at the same time, though, what's going to help up our international crowd? What's going to help the people who like watch things like in America and Canada, like all over the world, and Russia? And they were like, well, you know what? Their first experience of this was, again, Mighty Morphin. Yeah. So that's bringing a lot of like nods to that and whatnot. And I feel like Guy Zord, and only that, though, when he gets the shield as well, reminiscent of Tommy, I was like, he's a total nod to like Mighty Morphin in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I can see that. Another moment, one of my favorite episodes of the show by far. It's the episode near the end. Aim discovers the alien who murdered her planet.
This is one of mine too. Go ahead.
The alien who murdered her planet and her people is now on Earth. And this episode where we find out the origin of Aim, how she became a Gokaiger, her importance in the team, how much they care for her, how much they will fight for her. And what's amazing about this episode, it leads into this really cool sequence of events of how we each find, like, each Gokaiger pointed out, when she started she was this, when she started she was this. But guess what? Guess who she is now? She's the coolest.
She is. She is. And can I piggyback with you, because it's one of mine too?
Please.
So tag me in some boom.
Got it.
This was really cool because I loved as well as that they talked about this to the point when she wasn't there, and they were explaining to guys like, we were very different before she got here. We fought a lot. Yeah. And there was a point where Joe and like Mara's about to go at blows, and she just sits there sipping her tea. And they like kind of calm down. And then they start to clean up a little bit more. They start to talk to each other. And it was like she was the glue that kind of made them into a family. And that was so dope. And I agree with you. That episode was one of my top favorite moments too, for two more reasons. Number one, I loved how they were all pink.
Yes.
So I sent some art where they're all like in pink suits, because that was one of those moments where we got everybody. That was the time we got those episodes where like, we're going to have all the Blue Rangers. We're going to have all Green Rangers. We're going to have all Yellow Rangers. And we were going towards the end, which I felt like it was a brilliant lead up to the end. And then I also love Aim's character, Jezzer Reyes, because the thing about it is, usually in the situations, it's like, oh, but I forgive you. And I was like, no. You blew up my planet. You killed my family. You killed my people. Thug life, homie. You gots to go.
One of the coolest bits in this episode is the Gokai changes she does with each member of the team.
Yes,
What's amazing about this is that each Gokai change is like a in my opinion, each Gokai change with who she does it with represents her relationship with that member of the team. So with Guy, it's like, you know, she picks the go on silver and gold, kind of their closeness. When she picks Doc, she picks the Go Riders. When she picks Luca, she goes with Ghost Sager, again, because they're really close in that show.
Exactly.
When she's with Joe, she does Deca Ranger. More importantly, Deca Master and Swan, and if your shippers are out there who wanted to ship Aim and Joe, that's a little bit for you. But the one that really got me was who she Gokai changed with Marvelous. And I thought that was, oh my god, so great. She Gokai changed, they were both Shinken Red, because in Shinkenger, Samurai, there are two there's
two Red Rangers.
The first female Red Ranger. And so what's so great about that is that, to me, what that represents is Marvelous and Aim, and Marvelous and Aim turning into both Shinken Red. That to me represents them, Marvelous going, not only are you Gokai, not only are you like one of the best members of the team, you're one of us.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say your family, and the quote like One Piece, you're Nakama. It's like your friends, we're family, we're tight, we got this bond. And that was the cool thing about this. And again, to give a shout out to producer Darren right now, he's got that awesome picture on the screen right now, when they're all the Pink Rangers and everything like that. Again, I just kind of fanboyed out right there. And again, I love the balance there, because again, it's a balance of Sentai along with like a little bit of things we know we got in America. So we had our in-space Pink Ranger, and then who's in front? We got
Kimberly, Pink Ranger.
Respect.
Terry.
So again, such an amazing moment.
Liha says like, no, Marvelous and Aim. All right, hey, I got no horse in this race.
Not at all.
So if you like Marvelous and Aim, hey,
go right ahead. Go right ahead. Because that's not even the ship that I'm worried about. Because I can bring up my next favorite thing now. My favorite Ranger on the show. Because Guy's awesome. Guy's dope. But then again, oh man. So I'm a little bit biased here. But my next favorite thing about the show is all the Rangers. It's like the entire cast of Rangers, who they are as people. So I think Dan's gonna find that picture really quickly. Because the cool thing is that like out of them, each of them had their own character development and had a reason for me to love them. Like Marvelous was such a great leader. He was so so confident, he was so strong, and he has so many cool moments. Like, remember that, I'm going to bring this up later, but remember that part where him and Guy are smushed to the same bodies, and the guy goes through all the Red Ranger combinations and everything like that, and then towards the end, he's about to go and get the final blow, he gets tired, and then what happens? Marvelous takes over, and like does like the block, whatever, was like, okay, kid, I got this. And I was like, dude, that is so cool! Why are you so cool? And then you had Joe, the ultimate second in command. Yeah. Always calm, always cool, always stoic. Like, he was the ultimate samurai. Like, I literally looked at him and was like, he's like what if Sasuke had grown up like a little bit more normal.
Yeah, I can see that.
Again, he was a total cool guy. And then after that, we had Gokai Green, who again was just comic relief, like Doc. Like, again, doing every time he moved going, Gokai Green. I was like dying laughing, and I loved how they developed his character from being like the bumbling fool to being like part of the family. He's like the little brother. He's also good at mechanics and everything. And then after that, of course, we talked about how great Guy is. Again, we talked about how great I'm is, bringing the glue together. And then we get Baka. Again, Luca. Luca's so gangster. She's over here just calling people idiots, saying what she want to say, shooting people with 2 guns, tossing swords around like she don't care. Just, again, so awesome. So, again, the entire team is just such good character balance. And the great thing about this season was everyone had an arc. They all started in one place and ended somewhere else, which is great. They all kind of got closure to the wounds that had been opened up, and everything kind of healed. So, again, props to the great casting, to the actors for bringing these characters to life, and props to the writers for actually developing this team. It was so cool.
Nailed it. Yeah. Now, of course, the show is also famous for tribute episodes where they have original cast members show up, which is great because I thought they did a really good job of, if you've never seen that Sentai show, don't worry, they'll fill you in, they'll give you the context, and if they do their job right, you might actually want to watch that show.
Exactly.
And for me, my personal favorite tribute episode is the episode for Jetman, where the returning ranger is Guy, which is hilarious. Black Condor from Jetman, who in that show, spoiler, died. So the episode begins where he is talking to somebody, and we are now implying the idea that he's talking to probably God in heaven to send him back to Earth to ensure that the Gokaigers, and this is what I love about this episode, we find out in this episode he's back to Earth to ensure the Gokaigers, hey, don't bring my friends into this. Don't do it. My friends are retired. They have lives. Leave them alone. I'll take care of this crap. I'll come back from the dead to just take care of this crap. But please, leave them out of it.
I'm catching feels, Justin. I'm catching feels right now. About to start tearing up right here.
Oh my god.
Oh jeez.
This episode is incredible because it's Guy like challenging Marvelous, is like going like, my Red Ranger used to hit better than you. Like that crap like that. And like, he is Guy, Black Condor, he's the Wolverine of Jetman, essentially, you know, and
just straight gangster,
straight up. And like, this episode was just full of really amazing, just like, he really pushes them in this episode, specifically Marvelous, because Marvelous actually has to get over a fear of the alien they're fighting in the episode. This is like an episode, this alien is actually one who kind of psychologically scarred him a bit. So in this this incredible that's a tribute to Jetman, that pushes their narrative forward, pushes Marvelous's character forward. Oh, so great. So great.
So
love
good.
This episode. Yeah, look at that. See that bit right there where he's hand grabbing.
And I'm with you with this too, though, because the tribute episodes are amazing. Because for me, my personal 2 favorite tribute episodes are here's the thing. For me, it wasn't always the whole episode. There were moments. Yeah. So, for example, you remember the episode where it's for Time Force, and then we know, so people don't always remember that Guy Zord comes from the future. Yeah. Just like we used to have with like the Chronosaurus and everything like that in Time Force. And so the cool thing about it is that there's this really cool moment where again they had gone to like the shrine and everything like that, and they had ran into the Ranger. He had a relationship with someone in the present, and it ran into like his girlfriend and his kid. Yeah. And so what's dope is when the Guy Zord goes back to the future, guess who's working on it? It's that Ranger. And when he goes in there, what does he see? A picture of his wife and child.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
All the feels.
Like,
all the feels.
That's like some Doctor Who stuff going on in this app. And I haven't finished Time Ranger yet. It's a good show. Time Ranger's a good show. But I haven't finished it yet. And after I saw that moment, I just went, oh! Oh, I had a friend who has never seen Gokaiger, never seen Time Ranger, nonetheless. I gave him a bunch of, I just gave him that episode just to see what he feels about it, and he messaged me back going like, I started crying.
Dude, so much so. Like, literally, when I saw that episode, I was like, how is this giving me all these feels right now? Again, I've never watched this series, but I know what's being applied right here, and it's so amazing. And then, honestly, again, this is from a teacher standpoint, my other favorite tribute episode is from Mega Ranger. Because when
that's a good one.
Because with Mega Ranger, they go up and it's like, the guy's like, well, tell you what, if you want to invite it, you've got to we'll take class in the school. You've got to hang out in the school. Then we'll see if we give you the power. And then they go, and Marvelous goes and plays basketball. They join different clubs and everything like that. They make friends and all this stuff. And then at the end, they kind of realize the power that like high school has, the power when you go to a good school. They realize how formative those years are, how important it is, which was so awesome because it's true. Like a lot of times we don't remember, but when we look back on high school, for good or bad, it's one of the most formative years for us. And so that Mega Ranger tribute, it just touched me. I was like, it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got another super chat. The episode used for Blue Saber Saga and Super Mega.
Yes. That's a good episode. That's not a tribute app. Oh, I want to pause on this shot before we get into that. That's from the Mega Ranger episode. The moment I found out they're gonna be dressed up as high school students, I'm like, yes. And when even to the point where guys like seeing who you would assume are gonna be the delinquent characters.
Yo, you know it. Look at Marvelous. Marvelous looks like he's just like I do what I want to do. I don't do no homework. Homework's for suckers.
I love how I'm is super invested in a teen romance in that moment. I love how Luca is clearly that girl who smoked cigarettes underneath the bleachers.
Exactly. And who you can go buy cigarettes from.
Exactly.
It's like we need something illegal, we go to Luca. She's got it. Granted, her prices will be slightly higher than we would pay, but we know she's got it.
She's got it. Yeah, she's like red in like freaking like Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, the episode where Blue Ranger is practicing his saber skills and like in super like awesome anime samurai style where it's ridiculous training but it works. And my favorite trick in sword fighting in any of these shows is the circle and then slash that literally does nothing in real life, but boy does it look cool in animes and in Sentai. You know another really good episode that is, I didn't even get any assets for this, but I don't care because I love this moment so much. It's the Liveman episode where Joe is struggling with his feelings with Barozog, and he meets Live. Yes,
and again, let's go ahead. We'll talk about this. Please leave that. We'll talk about this. Go ahead.
But yeah, like and this is the episode where he meets Live Yellow, who's in their show. Their friends betrayed him, turned into evil bad guys. So there's this moment where he's like grabbing Joe, and he's like, "I get it, kid. I get it. I understand." But you also have to probably start understanding the idea that your friend is gone. And I'm like, But let's talk about the 5 swords and
dude. So again, this goes because Joe was one of my favorite characters because literally when I go back to like talk about how this was anime for me, I was like watching Sentai meets One Piece. Yeah. Again, he's got this Zoro moment going right now where he's got like all the blades that he needs. I was like, who can use that many swords? Oh wait, Joe can.
Yeah. Okay, I feel like we can talk about Gokaiger for 8 hours. So
we
gotta stop because I want to definitely talk about a new Kamen Rider.
Can I say one more favorite thing before we go? I did sit in one asset.
Please.
Because it involves these two things.
Please.
So here's the thing. So again, honestly, so for me, all right, I'm just going to skip to it. Because here's the thing. I did want to talk about how amazing Final Wave was. And Final Wave is my most favorite attack ever. The ending to the series is awesome.
Yes.
The ending to the series is awesome. It has one of the best final fight scenes ever that is well built up, that hits all the notes you want to hit, and everyone plays a role. I love, again, how I talked about earlier, how Guy gets his, like, he keeps his promise, and Marvin sets him up for us, like, hey, yo, you said you were going to do this, right? You ready? Because we're going to go do it now. And Guy's like, ride or die. Yeah. And then they go and do it, and they go, I love when they bust in the ship, and they're like beating dude's back, and he goes up and like stabs him in the chest. It's like, oh, my bloody chest. And then it's like the ship blows up, everything like that. And I love how they come back down as, again, the Goksaigers with the wings and everything like that. I was like, perfectly played, really smart. And then I love how we get the last fight scene where they go through all the morphing sequences. They hit all the like the super modes and everything like that, and they pay tribute to like all the Ranger teams. It was, again, the perfect finale, setting everything off. And then again, where does it end? It ends with them. And then again, they don't give the powers.
No.
They don't retire. They're like, no, we're pirates. We're going to go into space now. We're going to keep doing what we do.
Yeah.
So now that they go into space and they go to continue like to free the people and fight off the rest of his forces, and so they're out there still fighting.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why I think, honestly, I feel like Gokaiger is always called back for like team ups.
Oh yeah.
Because again, people love that team so much.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, they're a team that's like, no, this is what we do for life, and we're happy to do this.
Agreed. Okay, so hope you guys liked us. I felt like Johnny needed it after talking about Lupat, so I knew I had to start with Lupat so I can get him hyped up again.
I feel so much better now.
I know you do.
I feel so much better now.
Good.
Gokaiger,
I feel
why
good.
are you so amazing?
Now we gotta leave Sentai for a tiny bit, because you know what? In a couple of weeks, next month, we're getting a new Kamen Rider.
Which I'm actually really excited for. You know why?
Why?
Because here's the thing, this kind of leaked up perfectly. Because as we talked about Gokaiger being this awesome anniversary season, we're getting a Kamen Rider series that is also kind of an anniversary season.
Yes, it is.
Speak on it, Justin.
Kamen Rider Zio. Not really the same thing.
Dun, 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 dun.
Kamen Rider Zio.
Okay, stop.
Celebrating 20 years of Heisei Kamen Rider, starting from 2000, which is Kamen Rider Kuga, and going up to him. So that means I'm not gonna name all of them, but there's a lot of guys. And this show is, let's just say, kind of a round two of Kamen Rider Decade. Kamen Rider Decade was a similar concept, 10 years of celebrating 10 years of Kamen Rider franchise, starting with 2000. And I guess kind of representing that this is the more current version of the characters. Obviously, the character's been around since 70s, but this is the celebration, especially because the Heisei era is ending in Japan. They decided one more celebration of Heisei era Kamen Rider. And it's got a wicked neat idea. He's a time traveler, and apparently he has some sort of an access with other Kamen Riders to create new Kamen Rider modes that are inspired by older writers. And there's a trailer that came out this week. It looks like, what I'm assuming is a promo trailer. I'm not even sure if these scenes are going to be in the episode, but they are hinting at a lot of legacy stuff and legitimate baton passing between Sento and the new guy,
which is looking dope. Like, again, I agree with you. Like, one, I love the baton passing scenario where, like, you see the question of, like, Sento's like, are you worthy of this? Can I trust you with this? And I love how Sento looks a little bit older too.
Yeah.
So it kind of implies it may be like a few years into the future for Sento. Then two, I love the fact that, again, it's time travel, because I feel like it's so well set up where he's going to go and interact with all these different like Kamen Rider teams, everything like that. And low key for our Power Ranger fans here in the States, it kind of gives you that Shattered Grid feel.
Yeah,
especially that last poster with, like, it's shattered, you see all the things like that. I was like, Kyle Higgins needs another royalty check. So again, I'm looking forward to this. I'm loving it. It's so awesome. By the way, give a shout out to the chat. Layla said if Toy doesn't do, it's like Toy needs to do a 10-year Where Are They Now for Gokaiger. And then Blackwing said if they don't, we're going to go to Toy and start flipping tables. So guys, let's be real. I'm going to be there with you. So if we don't get that, we'll be there together in Japan flipping tables.
Let me point something out. Go on, Jared. The Cars season got a 10-year. Gokaiger's getting a 10-year.
Yes.
We're gonna get one. Trust me. And I think they're still down to do it, because especially after they showed up in the Zoojo episode, which is great if you haven't seen it.
And I said a YouTube clip, but I'm not sure if we have it or not. But like, again, I love how these actors love doing Gokaiger, because it's cool, like bits where they do like fan acting and they like get together and they play against Bosco, whatever, like live studio shows. They're so good at it. But going back to this though, so here's the poster for it.
This is for the last Kamen Rider final movie, which was the Kamen Rider Build team up movie with the previous characters of the show. And yeah, who knows? Like they're promising in this show, every other Kamen Rider show will be referenced or discussed or brought up, and characters and actors might be showing up, which I'm intrigued by, because the show's a time travel show. So you'll be fine up to these guys, because they all look like their age. I'm intrigued what happens when we get older. Like,
I am as well. I'm serious how we're going to do this. But again, I'm really excited for it. Like, I love the premise. I think it's smart. I love what we're going to see here. And again, I also love, again, how much thought is being put into this. Because even look at the poster. The poster shows like these two different things where we get this dystopian future. But I love how the actors, like on this, like in their poses, their characters, and whether in their Kamen Rider forms, have the same pose. Yeah. Like the guy's putting his hair back, and then I'm just like,
Forze.
Yes, Forze. Again, it's just so well thought out. It's being so well put together.
Now, have you heard about the Another Writers bad guys?
What? Explain.
Well, apparently there's an evil group that because the main part of the storyline is that our Kamen Rider Zio, which again echoes Decade a little bit, is that he, in the future, might possibly be a bad guy and start ruling the planet or something like that. And so there's it's kind of like Terminator. There's another organization that's trying to stop him, and their plan is to turn people into evil, twisted versions of Kamen Rider. That's including our boy Build. And there's an evil version of Build that's floating around. You see the picture out there. He looks gnarly, like teeth and everything. And those are apparently going to be our monsters of the week.
So let me ask you this, though. So do you think, because I mean, it could go a couple different ways. Do you think, so those will possibly be our monsters of the week, but just like how we saw with Gokaiger and there was some who just came back always villains, do you think they may choose like one Kamen Rider here or there to be like a permanent villain, like throughout most of it?
Ooh. That would make sense.
That would be cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. If you look at that lineup, and there's Zio right in the middle. I have no idea what's going to happen with this show in terms of how you're going to bring if any of these characters back, and it gets trickier as we get older, and in terms of that show's own character history of where they're at currently, but we'll see. But my big thing for me is Decade is intriguing me because Decade is as you can see, Decade's in the far left. Decade is the one who's literally has a similar premise.
Really?
He's got to come back.
He's
got to come back.
And I love how they put him off to the side like that with that pose, implying that there may be something deeper happening there.
Yeah.
And what's cool about this as well, though, is to be honest with you, I think it's really smart for a few different reasons. Number one, we know that Gokaiger got a lot of people into Sentai because you were able to it was like a Sentai for Dummies guide. You can watch this and fill you on so many things, and then all of a sudden you can like go into the next series. So I feel for Kamen Rider, this is a great transitional period where they can really bring a lot of people on, and I hope they promote the heck out of it.
Yeah.
And who knows, like maybe like that won't happen anytime soon, but I hope at some point we get one of those nice like dub versions, kind of like what they do with anime now.
Yeah.
It comes on Hulu the week of and whatnot, so that way people can start getting more into Sentai. Because again, I feel like the problem with it is that we've talked about this before. Power Rangers is really held accountable because it has no competition.
Yeah.
But if someone was smart and got the license from Toei just to put their Sentais and their Kamen Riders on a streaming service on a regular basis or updated weekly, people start realizing, hey, you realize this Power Rangers can be so much better, right?
Yeah. I feel like someone's going to figure that out one day. But until then, we watch in our own ways. Yeah, so overall, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the new show.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
And I will be honest, as though I'm going to be a little bit sad as we end Build, because Build, that was a great season. This has been a great season. Like we've had a lot of highs, we had a couple lows, but again, it was a very balanced season, and it was really easy to come into. Like even if you've never seen a Kamen Rider like series before, Build's a good first one.
No, and that's the thing. And that's as you do this every year and you get invested in a show like this, the funny thing about this is that like you get invested for a full year and they don't give you like a month to recover.
Not at all. It's like boom. So you know what we should do as we kind of like wrap up and we're gonna go and everything. So I think when we get to the last episode, a little special send off. I think we should do like one of our top 5 moments from Build.
That's a good call. I would agree with that. Until then, I think it's time to wrap up.
Yeah, but it is. So, Justin, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram at JustinQuiz, like it says right here. You can also find me on Twitter at JustinKeizon. And as I've stated before, I have my 2 monthly podcasts, except I'm retiring one. So again, my Benview and Spielberg podcast is being retired this month. Check out our episode end of this month to find out why. I actually, though, funny enough, launched a new podcast in its place. I did.
Nice.
The show is
Congratulations.
Thank you. The show is called Morning Word. And it's another monthly podcast in which me and my 2 friends are describing our current writing projects.
Oh, cool.
So I'm a filmmaker. One of my friends is a novelist. My friend writes comics. So you'll follow us month to month as you'll hear us talk and discuss the traction of our current writing projects to see how far along they're going, the struggles we're having, and it'll be mostly about exploring what our current creative endeavors are and how much the highs and lows of doing it.
So it sounds like a cool writing podcast where you're going to have like people from 3 different genres of writing coming together, talking about their similar processes, their struggles, their successes, their failures, and whatnot, and giving advice to writers. And it sounds like a series where they might have a guest writer on occasionally.
What is that? What's up with the
I wonder how someone applies to be a guest to come on.
I guess we could just have that. We can make that happen. You can find that right now. It's available on iTunes. I mean, Apple Podcasts. So you could find that on agentsofguard.com. And I can hit you up on that.
Be more than happy to. Booyah.
I still have nothing new. A remake podcast. This week we're doing this month we're doing Fahrenheit 451. And again, listen again. You heard us babble on about this stuff. I still have Shining Yusha for free, available on Tumblr. Johnny.
And of course, you can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram and Twitter, and also on Gumroad. You can pick up a couple of my books, Broken and Elvish. So again, check them out if you want to see something fun and something a little bit anime-ish, inspired by Sentai. And then in addition to that, though, you can find me at Power Morphicon.
Yes, same.
See you next week. I'll be hanging out, especially Angel Grove Prom. It's about to go down, so make sure you buy your tickets. Make sure you get those VIP tickets, which I think
we're out.
VIP sold out. VIP sold out. So never mind, but make sure you come to prom. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so much fun. In addition to that, though, you can find me at Palm Springs Comic Con towards the end of the month. I'll be there with some of the hashtag crew holding it down. And then later on, if you're in the Portland area, you can find me at Rose City Comic Con.
You travel, man.
I try to spread the love around. So if you get a chance, come on through. We'll hope to see some of you there.
Okay, that's it. I guess we'll see you guys at Morphicon, because we're not going to be here.
Hashtag show for everything trending in geek pop culture. Deuces.
See ya.